Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Check Me. I want to talk about this Denver uh, Buffalo game. Yes, Bills and Broncos. I think it's an interesting one, mainly because I feel that I see a scenario where the Broncos end up winning this one and surprising the Buffalo Bills. Now, I have to take myself out of the picture. Do I want the Bills to lose the bias that I have away from football um, execution, analysis, scheme, etc.? One thing always look at when I always look at a player or a team is I look at who is calling the plays. One thing that good defensive coordinators are going to do and offensive coordinators are going to do is they're going to take the best players out of the game. Um, and they're going to do that from experience and just from knowing what to do, knowing how to operate, knowing what to play. They see things so many times, they've seen things so many times that when they're so locked in on it, they know what happens next. They know tendencies, they know systems, they know schemes, they know route combinations, etc., and they can put their players in the right position for them to be successful. Much like as an Eagles fan, look at Vic Fangio. He's put the Eagles players in successful situations throughout the whole season. Of course, we have Jalen Carter, which helps out a lot because you have to double team him. But this is what we have done throughout the whole season. This is what Vance Joseph has done. Vance Joseph has had success against Josh Allen throughout the years. And I say that because dating back to when Buffalo played the Cardinals in 2022, the Buffalo Bills were 6-3, 7-3. Arizona Cardinals were 7-3. They 6-3. They didn't win this game because of Kyler Murray, but you got a defensive coordinator in Vance Joseph versus a offensive coordinator, an offensive player in Josh Allen, where Josh Allen ran the ball. They ran the ball. I threw the ball 50 times, and they ran the ball 18 times. Now, you had Zach Moss and you had Devin Singletary, a tandem back. You still had Stephon Diggs. You had Gabe Davis. You had Cole Beasley, Josh Brown, Dawson Knox. So you had a wide array of targets they had, but they only amassed 296 on 50 passes. That's 6 yards, 5.9 yards, 6 yards a throw. And they picked Josh Allen off twice. His quarterback rating for that game was 77.3. Now, one thing that Vance Joseph did very well was he blitzed, and the way Vance Joseph kind of attacks and plays, and you see this a lot of times with black defensive coordinators or just good defensive coordinators. Wink Martindale, I thought was great. What's his name for us? What's his name? Is it Bill Johnson? I think Bill Johnson for us was, what's his name? Eagles D coordinator. What was it? Was it Bill Johnson? I forgot who our defensive coordinator was. But one of our Jim Johnson. Yeah, Jim Johnson. I think one of the best defensive coordinators we've had in a while. But the aggressiveness of knowing where to attack, when to attack, tendencies. Vance Joseph has this type of experience in the league. I think we're going to see more of a chess match between the improvisation of Josh Allen versus Vance Joseph. When you look at players across the board, they're pretty much evenly matched when it comes to skill-wise. You got all-pro corner versus some decent receivers. Of course, Amari Cooper is a weapon. Alabama versus Alabama guys out there. But what you're seeing is where the improvisation of Josh Allen is going to go against the scheme against Vance Joseph. On the offensive side, for the Broncos, I think that for them, they're going to have to figure out a way to run the ball. You're not going to win this game, run the ball, going to Buffalo and playing in the snow. Passing the ball is ideally not going to be your not going to be your best option. Now that relies a lot on Sean Payton. So what the Bills typically do in these playoff games is they get on top of teams early. They get the ball, get on top of teams early, and they don't look back at all, especially in the snow. One of the challenges that we see with teams, they don't know how to get back. But the question is, with foot tracking, with blitz schemes, is this something that will be advantageous for the Broncos? I do think that's going to be a closer game. I would not be surprised if the Broncos win it. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game because I think Vance Joseph is going to do what he can to not allow the Broncos to get behind, and then it's a chess match between Sean Payton and D coordinator for the Bills, who is, let me see, coordinator for the Bills, Bobby Babachek. Never heard of this guy. Let's look at his background. Young guy. Where he, of course, they got Joe Brady's offense coordinator. Was it assistant D? So he's homegrown. Homegrown defensive coordinator. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I like the Broncos in this one. I like the Broncos in this one. I just think that these teams are even across the board, and when it comes to play calling and experience in the booth and in the sky, I like the Broncos. Of course, I know you guys are gonna slaughter me in the comment section, but I'm taking Vance Joseph's place, defensive scheme versus Josh Allen's improvisation. They're gonna give him different looks. They're gonna throw different things at him. It's gonna require Josh Allen to think, and I don't think personally Josh Allen is typically put in positions where he has to think outside of what the normalcy or what's normal in the NFL. When things get a little bit more confusing for him, instead of throwing his way out of situation, he runs his way out of situations. So this is going to be huge. But Josh Allen's deadly when he runs. So will Josh Allen's improvisation create challenges for the Broncos defense? I guess we'll see.